Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engage. Engage. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Operation Status Quo. We're back together again on a Monday. Monday is Monday, because Monday is Monday and Tuesday is Tuesday, and, you know, it goes on from there, and that's how we do it here on Operation Status Quo. So there might be a little noise in the background. As a matter of fact, let me do this. I forgot to have some clothes in the dryer, and I forgot, and so, you know, the dryer's running. I know the mic can pick it up, so hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to open up that dryer. There we go. Whew. I meant to turn that off before I got started, and then I didn't do that. And then I started hitting the buttons, and I can hear the dryer run. I go, you know, do I really want to let the dryer run through the whole show and get that mess up the background noise? And then on top of it, you know, when the cycle completes, if it does while I'm here doing the show, you're going to hear that bang. You know how the dryer goes when it's done? Was that annoying? I'm sorry if I upset anybody there with that. Let me know in the comments if I did. I do appreciate it. So anyway, hey, I'm Pete Palma. Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo. Of course, I am your host, and I am broadcasting live from the comfy confines of my very own home. And this is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. And that's what we got to do in this world today. We got to create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. I don't know. What do you think? You think that should I turn this Operation Status Quo the musical? You know, and we'll do the whole thing singing songs like that. Anyway, what the hell are we doing here? Well, first of all, you know, this is a place of togetherness, a little bit, kinda. No, it is love, acceptance, joy, all those soft, beautiful, sweet things that people like to say. But do they really mean them? That's the whole thing. And I want you to know that I do. For sometimes if I'm ever a little sarcastic or if I'm ever a little rude or whatever the case may be, it does happen. You know, I can't help that I am what I am, and that's what I got to be in this life. You know, but I can also do it in a way of not hurting people's feelings too much. But unfortunately, I do have a little bit of a sense of humor that seems to, you know, upset people at times if they're not in the right, don't have the same kind of way of thinking and such. But anyway, so today, ladies and gentlemen, is the what? The 11th. The 11th of December in the good year 2023. We're almost done this year. Can you believe it? You got all your holiday shopping done yet? You guys do that stuff out there? You're still running around playing that game, buying gifts for everybody and making yourselves miserable? I don't know. You know, but if you are, good luck to you, and I hope it's all working out well. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Something I might say that could be off-putting. Some people would be like, how can you say something so negative about Christmas, right? But anyway, we do know that that's not Jesus' real birthday. He wasn't born in December, and we do know that Christmas was basically created off, you know, previous pagan holidays, and the satanic cult and such, you know, so it is what it is. So enjoy yourself, you know, put up your tree and your garland. I would still do it. It's not like I wouldn't do it completely, you know, I just have no need to do it at this time. And actually I haven't, when's the last time I ever even did decorate, to be honest? I mean, it's got to be at least around 2017, 18, somewhere around there. Like I was kind of done with it by then. So, but you do what you do, whatever you like. I mean, it's beautiful, you know. So anyway, and today's program is entitled Best Behavior. Yes, I want to be on my best behavior. I don't think I'm on my best behavior right now. I've already started by probably insulting people, but I try not to do that, but it seems to find its way on its own. It's just the nature of the way things work here on Operation Status Quo. So basically today, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to talk about, I actually kind of found it really interesting, to be honest. I got a little itch. I was just playing with my cat before I started the show, and he likes to dig his claws into my arm and wrist, and then it itches a little bit right after that happens. You ever have that? You guys have cats out there? You ever have that experience when they scratch you on you a little bit, and then your skin itches where they scratched? So let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Listen, before I even get started, let me just remind people out there, if you're new here, thank you for being here and welcome. If you've been here for a while, I appreciate you returning. I appreciate you being a glutton for punishment and such. But don't forget that this is a space of openness. Whoever wants to take advantage of it, you're more than welcome to, as far as letting me know topics you'd like to discuss, or if you'd like to come on the show and discuss something yourself. I mean, I'm very open to feedback, so don't be shy. But we're all friends and family here. We're a family. This is the Operation Status Quo family, the OSQ family, yo. And are you proud to be part of that? I might be the only member. I don't know, but you got to start somewhere. So anyway, today's show, Best Behavior, is the title, and it really comes from this. Over the weekend, as you guys know, I teach my yoga on the weekends, and after a class on Saturday, I was having a conversation with one of the students, this woman, probably about my age, and anyway, we were just talking in general, no problems, and about the world and little things, and and people start saying stuff, and I always like to encourage and say, listen, I know things seem, crazy out there, but don't worry about it. We're moving in a more positive direction, and I do feel that's the crux of everything, in a sense. Humanity is moving in a direction of raising consciousness, and old paradigms are kind of falling away, and new ways of us living are being created, and that's why there's so much confusion and madness in the world today as we go through this birthing process, as it were. But as I was talking about with her a little bit, and then she says, she was agreeing a little bit about the world being crazy and stuff. She goes, our democracy is under attack, and I'm just hope. I know he's old, but I really hope Biden, can win again. And I was like, oh no! Like all of a sudden, I felt my whole. It's like if you were like, it's probably like the people in the Titanic, when they fell off the boat and they got into the water and it was freezing cold. It was like that shock to their system, and they just felt their whole body shutting down. It's pretty much like what I felt. I went like, oh no, this woman, she seems so nice. Why is she saying this stuff? Threat to democracy. We're not even a democracy. We're a republic. You know what I mean? But whatever. I'm no expert on all that crap. And but long story short, I want to let you know. I'm going to give a round of applause right now. I'm very proud of myself. I didn't even mention Trump. I didn't say a word. I didn't disagree. I just said, yes, I agree with you. We're under attack. I didn't say that. Heyo. I didn't really get into it because once it's like, to me, it's like a person with with the fake pandemic. It's like you're not going to convince anybody one way or the other. And I do realize that it's not about convincing. That's kind of what I put in the description box of this show today. Just talking about everybody has different opinions and thoughts and such. So and how what do you want to be right or you want to be happy type thing. I think it was Dr. Phil who always used to say that, like, are you kidding me? Dr. Phil, remember you come on, Dr. Phil, are you kidding me? Now, you could put lipstick on a pig, but it doesn't make it a muffin. I don't know. He would say like weird crap like that. You could put a lard in a skillet, but it doesn't make it a pig. I don't know. Whatever. He's just saying crazy shit like that. But he would always say, you want to be right or you want to be happy, and it's true. Not that I like, Dr. Phil. I don't know about him. I don't know if you're going to go down any roads of any conspiracies about who might be good or bad people, whatever. But just in general. And this will take me back to when I talk about Course in Miracles too, and just saying how everything really is just one, and all these different polarities that we experience in our day to day are really more about the contrast that we need to see for the lessons that we need to learn. But let me just tell you, and this is why I'm doing this today, because even for me, it is so difficult. It really is. Like what it really is more that I realized, like with that situation yesterday, and forget about obviously the polarization of our political environment right now is just, and the fact that people are so entrenched and take it so seriously. As soon as she said, "Oh, our democracy's under threat," and I'm like, "Oh God, I guess you must have CNN on like 24/7." Just the crap that they even say. What the funny thing is about that though? Like when they talk about democracy under threat and all, like do these people in general, all of us, do we not see the inherent evil in the entire structure of the system? I just mean, if you feel your democracy is under threat, democracy, if you want to say that and not use that phrase, yeah, it is. It's always been. There's never really been democracy. The guise of democracy. Then people start coming out and calling out things, calling out the system and pointing out shit, and then people want to get pissed off at the people that are kind of pointing things out, and because they're so encapsulated in the mainstream narrative and the sleepwalking life of this world that most people are in, they'd rather stay under the rule of the evil in a sense than like actually admit that things are evil and kick everybody out. I mean, just, I always tell people, forget about Trump, because it comes down to so much that it's always got to be about him. Like, it's like if you're thinking this way, if you have these type of views, you're with him. If you have these type of views, then you're just, you're a crazy leftist. And, I think it's like, it's always somewhere in the middle. And then we're letting all these other people, whatever the story is, letting all of them run who we are and what we do and fight against ourselves while they're still doing whatever they want. We know Biden, love him or hate him, he's still rich. He has no problems, even though I don't really believe it's the real Biden. I believe it's I always say Joe the clone. I don't know if it's an actor, an AI, or whatever the frig it is, but it's not him, And same thing with Trump, I personally like Trump, but even if you don't, even if he is evil, even if I'm wrong, I'm just saying, but he's not suffering either, right? He's got plenty of money. While it's all the people, like everyday people who have to go out and work and do everything and take care of families, they're the ones suffering, and then we're all the ones that are fighting each other over these kookadoos up here, that already have everything, and doesn't matter. They can blow up the whole world if they want tomorrow. They got their bunkers, they got their fallout shelters in the mountains or whatever. They got plenty of resources. Excuse me, it's not going to affect them if they decide to drop some nukes or do some bullshit, right? So, but ultimately, let me see if I can round this back around to where I was going with this. Just with her with the democracy, that, like I say, but the whole system, is flawed. And like, why do we allow, why do we accept as a humanity that this is the way the world has to be? Again, I do feel there's a lot of lies in our history, and just everything, right? And we're living this little rat race life in the confines of these, of consumerism, and the confines of materialism, and the confines of finances. Like everything's always just like all about that, like proving yourself better than the next person, instead of, everybody realizing that we're all equal and equal talents and stuff. I feel badly for the people, honestly. Like, I'm always, I get that way, whatever, but I do feel badly for the people that are, and I'm not saying feel badly like, oh, like they're less than me or something. I feel badly for anyone, who believes in, anything so much that it takes them away from their center point and their path. And I speak this to myself because I'm not innocent of this, right? I have to think of this from my own perspective. Even the stuff that I really enjoy, like just say I do lean more to some of the, right-wing conspiracy stuff, right? I do, right? So, I follow the Q thing, and, I think the human trafficking thing is true. I think our society is built on the backs of the real business of the world, which is human trafficking, child sex trafficking, and, all our mainstream whatever is all just kind of like, it's like going to Disneyland or something, it's the same thing. It's just like creating a world, creating a world that everybody gets lost in, like, and you're not even in touch with whatever reality may be. And, that's subjective too. What is reality? Each person's reality is individual, right? That's what really made me think of too of, and I think this is the point I was trying to get to, is like, talking about everybody living in their own reality, not everybody living in their own reality, but people living in different timelines. Like, there's a lot of this talk, the astrologers and people like that, just talk about different timelines and people living in different timelines. And, if you want to get some of the deep religious stuff, and they talk about the rapture and all, and they talk about people just, God will take his people back and people just disappear, off the earth. And, they use that to say like, oh, somebody shifted. Religion would say God's rapture and, people just vanish off the earth. People who are not so religious would say people have shifted into like, 4D consciousness or 5D consciousness, and the other physical body, is not needed anymore, and this kind of thing. And like, again, like it all gets to be too much, right? Because everything is levels, and, even within the truth community of stuff like that I follow, how many of these people that I follow too that fight against each other and are giving misinformation? Like, I don't believe it's all true. I definitely think I think it's, to keep it simple, and I think it speaks for itself. I think a lot of people can agree with this, right? There are people behind the scenes that we don't even know. Forget about the puppets that we see in everyday life. Even people like Elon Musk or something, who's like top of the line, or Bill Gates, like these people who are way up there. Even George Soros or any of these type of people, they're still not the ones that are really running things. There's the people that are probably like Gollum. Was that his name, Gollum, in Lord of the Rings? Oh, they took my precious. That's what they look like. Probably the real people that are running the world. They're underground with the big eyes, going, "Oh, soon I will be reacquainted with my precious." But anyway, and so we can agree, I think, right? Tell me in the comments, can we agree at least that there's a facet of existence that we are not privy to, that is actually kind of pulling the strings, and it goes just down in levels to make it what it is in our everyday life, So I think we can agree on that. And obviously, you just see how our world is. There's so much abundance possible, from the resources of the earth and our connection with source. We are all source energy, inherently. So but the disconnection has been made so prevalent that you don't even believe any of that. You just believe that this is it. This is this world, in this type of way. But everybody's living in their own reality in this physical existence, in a sense. They're all living their own timeline. Like a person like this woman that I'm speaking of, who believes this democracy's under threat, and she's praying that this freaking sleepyhead can get get back in office. Like I'm saying, like imagine that person's reality all day. How much fear they're living in. How much they're worried about conforming, in a sense, to the everyday world because they believe so much that it's true. For me, it's like the opposite. Like I don't want to engage so much with anything, and I feel that this world is like just a big hoax, in a sense. But that puts me in a space of I don't say disadvantage, but you should never go too far any which way, right? You have to engage in life. You have to be part of life. I just think it's important to shut off the noise, overall. Like whether you're believing the stuff that I'm talking about, like this woman is saying, or whether you're believing the other stuff that I kind of believe more. Even, for example, with the precious metals, I know it's like a big thing. They just keep talking all the time, gold and silver, and it makes sense. I mean, it's in the Bible. It's God's money. It's been a means of transaction throughout the history of humanity. We know it's been suppressed, and all this type of stuff. And they took us off gold standard, that our money used to be backed by gold. Now it's not, and all this type of thing. So, it makes sense that it should be worth more than it is. Will we ever get to a point of it actually happening? Is it just another psyop? These people are going, oh, our sales have been low. Nobody's buying precious metals anymore. We need to kick it up a notch. So let's tell everybody the system's going to collapse, and we'll sell a bunch of metal and make some big money. I don't know. Like, I mean, I believe what I believe, and I feel what I feel. And I'm just speaking from my perspective. Like, I'm just a person like anybody else, and sometimes it gets, like, I don't say disheartening, but it's a lot on, no matter where you are. That's just the nature of our world today, right? Whether you're on the side of believing, we're going to be in a dictatorship if Trump gets in, or whether you're on the side of, believing the whole thing's going to come down and, we're going to start fresh, and, I don't know how or what or if, and that's why we can't get too involved or wrapped up into anything. It always takes us to a place of living out of fear, or living out of, looking outward for something to fulfill, whereas, truthfully, everything comes from within, right? And that's why, I don't know if I said this in the beginning, but that's why I titled the show Best Behavior today, because I didn't react, when the woman said that, because it was a trigger to me. And it made me realize, it's just funny because like of how the world's changed so much. I would never have a problem with anybody and their different little views and stuff before. Not that I have a problem with this person. I just mean I've had to learn to be calmer in certain ways because I'm so passionate about my beliefs. But then I realize that I'm getting wrapped up just the same as this person is on this side. Somebody, if I believe that all this, for the lack of a better term, I don't always think they use the term conspiracy. I think it's a negative connotation, but just using that term because that's what they say. If I'm all wrapped up in these conspiracies and believe all that's real, I mean that's going to have me wound up and going down a path just as much as somebody who, if you're on the other side and believe and our system is legit, and you're worried about something being taken away by somebody else changing things, then that. And then you're wrapped up in that. And that's why it always brings me back to A Course in Miracles. I hate to say it, but I have to remind myself of it too, is that, it's not that deep and it's not that heavy. And, that's the thing, like, you really have to know, you really have to be strong enough in a sense to, even for yourself, whatever you believe, right? You really have to be strong enough to maintain that level of belief and faith and working towards, what you think is right. You understand what I'm trying to get at here? Like, I just mean, like, because you're always going to get thrown off. Like I could see something or somebody can say something that, maybe I was like, really thinking this way and trusting, some of this information I was getting. And then something might happen where it kind of takes the wind out of the sails. And you realize, like, damn, like I did it again. Like, too much attachment onto, one idea or, an outcome or what's right. Because I always say there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. There's all just levels, and everybody has to have different experiences to learn what they need to learn. So, our physical life has to encompass like a multitude of applicable aspects, for all that to happen. So it's never going to just be all or, one way. I mean, if it was all, as my grandma would say, it's not all peaches and cream. That's what she'd say about being married. It's not all peaches and cream. So, the same thing with this life, right? I mean, it's just not going to be all peaches and cream. No matter what, no matter how many problems we solve, there'll be another problem because it's just the nature of physicality, the nature of duality within physicality. There's always going to have to be, every action equal and opposite reaction. So there's always going to have to be a balance of those energies flowing, creating situations so that souls, no matter where they are, can learn what they need to learn. So I just think it's important. I'm just reminding myself and saying it here today because I did notice that happened on Saturday and that I felt triggered, and I realized that, like, this person's nice. I don't have any problem with this person, but they said this, and does it make them my enemy now? Like, and no, the answer to me is no. But a lot of that type of stuff in today's world does make people your enemy all of a sudden. Like, you could be talking with somebody and all of a sudden you realize, they hate Trump or whatever they believe, whatever, and you're on the other side, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I didn't realize that you were supporting that person, and all of a sudden it gets into a whole thing like you're a Nazi now, or you're white supremacist, on that side, or if you're on the other side, you're, a left nut job trying to destroy our society from within. That's how the other side views that. So, I mean, I don't know, you know what I mean? I think it's all playing together the way it needs to play for people to learn. I just think it's important for us to remember to always have that center point of realization that this life is the dream. I mean, it is empowering, to really think that, we chose our life and we're here, we're supported by the universe, and, how much can we be in tune with that to allow our path to flourish, and I mean, I definitely think that there's powers that be that, want to keep people from realizing that, because if everybody was talking to God, then nobody would need the government, So, I mean, it's pretty much plain and simple that way. But anyway, I don't know. I guess that's just kind of what I was thinking today is, just like, everybody's like really living they talk about, like I was saying, shifting into 5D or the rapture and people disappearing, but it doesn't have to happen that way. It's already existing as it is now, right? Like just through different thought patterns. People who are, on this frequency are going to live like this, and people who are on this frequency are going to live like that. And even though we're here together seemingly in this, physical space, we're actually living totally different lives, or, totally different timelines in a way too, because, what you put into your thought process, your life is, what's going to manifest in your reality, which doesn't mean other things aren't happening in other realities. It's just a matter of you're going to perceive the frequency that you line up with. And it's like, it's like watching TV, you flip to this channel, you got this show. You flip to that channel, you got that show. It's like, it's pretty plain and simple. And whatever you put your attention and focus to is what you're going to, align with, and what you're going to be, what's going to be in your life, basically. So I think it's important we all have our things we like and our views and all that, just a reminder here today of as we, get into the holiday season more, and, whatever's happening in the world and whatever may happen, whatever crazy events may unfold, to remember to, keep space, to be the observer and not to be attached and not to be reactive. Again, like even with this person, like I don't want to fight with people over Trump, or like, do I get, the only thing I mean, it's not even about Trump or the truth movement or any of this kind of crap. I wasn't so following deeply all this way, until, COVID happened. I always had my thought processes. I mean, it's obvious that there's a lot of corruption. It's obvious that we're lied to by the government. It's obvious that we're robbed with taxes and everything else. I mean, why people accept it and allow it to happen, and just instead of saying no, like, all the fear that's been programmed into us to, break away from that comfort zone of what we have. It's like, it's like you'd rather stay with the devil, I guess, as opposed to, trying something different, right? I don't know. So, but, keep that space, to be aware of this. People have different views. It's okay. Like, even me, I've softened a bit. Like, I would get so angry before when I saw somebody with a mask on. And now I mean, it is what it is. If that person feels that they got to put that on to be comfortable, let them do it. No one's bad. We don't have to fight. Like, to me, honestly, just the way I feel, and from my perspective and my beliefs, and how I think things are going, if people are on this way of worrying about wearing a mask, or thinking Trump is a dictator and all this kind of crap, they got a lot more problems than I do. It's like, obviously if you're in that realm of thinking, then like, you're really all bound up and in fear. I figure, hey, at least, I shouldn't say that, right? Because it's all equal, but because I resonate with the other perspective, I feel like, oof, at least there's like, some space to breathe on this side. Like there's no space to breathe on the other side. You got to be like a crazy complaining maniac, on the other side, crying and screaming about every last little right, a person should have, which everybody should have rights, but it shouldn't even be a question. It should be a given. We shouldn't be fighting or making or talking about what rights should or shouldn't be. It's just from day one, everybody's equal, and we all should just have the rights. It shouldn't even be. And that's what I'm saying. Like the system itself creates the space where we can't have all that, So, but yet people want to stay entrenched in it. So I have no idea. But just remember, if you ever looked up, Course in Miracles is a great piece of information, and really explains in a great way. And whatever you think, if some people say it's it's not real, and it's it's a some kind of like a charlatan type thing, taking away from the real word of God and all this type of thing. But you can make your decision for yourself. All I know is it's something that I started getting into that probably back, like, I don't know if it was 2012, somewhere around, maybe before, I don't know, whenever I got into it, probably before. But anyway, and it was just a real simple message. It's just a real simple message of like, when you attach to stuff, you're making the dream real, and that's what causes pain, emotional, discomfort. It's what causes fear. It's what causes anxiety. And of course, it also says it doesn't mean just because we know that this life is a dream and things aren't real, it doesn't mean we don't participate. It just means we have the ability to participate from an observation space, from just space in general, instead of being like so attached that you're just like, again, a reactive robot just doing what your brain is programmed to do. Our brains are computers. We're programmed. Me too, So always have to be mindful of that, And just to finish, because I just want to make it clear, I get upset too on the things that I believe in and follow. And then I say, am I being an idiot, for, following this so much? Like, I shouldn't listen to anything either. I should just shut it all off and meditate or something. But I don't know. It is what it is. The world's the world. You got to participate. We're all going to have our views. We're all snowflakes, We're all individuals, perfect, beautiful individuals. And, all this mess that's going on in the world and, so much division. And, let's forget about, being right and proving anything. And let's be happy and let's, encourage each other and share positive and see if we can create a space where people can move forth in a better way. So I know I'm all over the place like normal. That's just kind of my brain starts going. And but I just wanted to kind of get that thought out today. And that's what I have for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time and I thank you for being here. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. Leave your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I'd love to connect. My information's in the my contact information is in the description box below. I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.